Hey guys, it's Jeremy with North Texas Multigun. Uh, this video is going to be about basically a new shooter's brief. And talk with a lot of new shooters, and whether it's on the range or via email or via the phone, a lot of them have butterflies about what to expect, and that shouldn't be. And it's a pretty relaxed atmosphere out there as long as you're safe with the gun. That's rule number one: safe with the gun, right? But I wanted to do this and just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. And forgive me when I look down, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I try to cover everything. Basically, if you have questions, ask. You cannot ask enough questions. When you get there, I guess let me back up and kind of go in order of the day would go. When you get there, sign in at registration. Let the person doing registration, which is usually me, let them know you're a new shooter. That way, we're always sure to have experienced shooters and new shooters on the same squad. They can help each other out. It's a cold range, and if you don't know what cold range means, that pretty much means no guns are loaded ever until it's your turn to shoot that stage, and the range officer gives you a command that we call load and make ready. Now, hopefully you're carrying concealed. When you show up, keep it concealed during registration. You don't need to tell anybody. Hopefully you exercise that right. When you get ready to put on your competition gear and you take off your carry gun, obviously just take it off, leave it there. Or if your carry gun is your competition pistol, at your car, discreetly unload that. I know we're all big boys, but it just makes everybody feel at ease knowing that no guns are loaded until you're the actual shooter. It's kind of an old rule that's been around for a very long time, and a lot of old rules I don't agree with and I don't enforce, but this is one of them that just it feels comfortable doing that. So when you get to your first stage, there's going to be a shooting order. It is going to be kind of like in baseball. Either you're the shooter, or you're on deck, meaning you're the next shooter, or you're in the hole, meaning you still got, two shooters in front of you before you start shooting. So be listening to your name. Whoever has an iPad keeping score, they should call that out pretty regularly, almost every shooter. So if you're paying attention, you'll know when you're coming up, and you won't get caught off guard. Because it does take a second to kind of get your stuff ready, get on the line, all that kind of good stuff. So pay attention to that. If you're not on deck or in the hole, this is a volunteer sport, meaning you have to reset targets. You have to tape them after the shooter. You have to pick up the steel, put it back on the stand, pick up shotgun holes, throw them in the trash can. So it is a volunteer sport that requires cooperation and contribution from everyone. And that's in one of my top 5 rules. If you don't reset, you're probably not the kind of person we want there. To be straight up and honest. I've been on squads before in other matches where there's 12 of us or 11 of us or whatever it is. There's only 3 of us that are actually like out there resetting, and the rest of them are not dudes I'd hang out with. Just put it that way. Put it nicely. So get out there, reset. It's not hard. Tape some targets. You don't have to reset the whole stage, but just go out there at a leisurely pace. Just help reset. And if you got 11, 12-man squad and you get 5 or 6 guys doing that, it goes rather quick. So contribute to it. Trust me, people will, especially if you're new, people will go out of their way to help you when they see you helping them. When they see you being lazy, you get my point. Let's see here. Safety is very important. I kind of covered that. Very few. I kind of pride myself on not having a lot of stupid rules, if you will. But obviously, safety is not stupid. So, anytime you're handling guns, be a grown up about it. 3-gun matches, we don't have safe areas, so to speak, designated safe areas. Your vehicle is your safe area. You should never have a loaded gun at your vehicle, ever. And basically, When it's your turn to shoot, you're getting your gear on, you're picking your long guns up, whatever it may be. You're going to the line, they're all cold until the range officer tells you to make ready, which we covered before. When you get through shooting the stage, or while you're shooting the stage, we have a 180 rule, 180-degree rule. So if you were to have, some of you probably already know this, but if you don't, take a 360-degree circle, we always shoot downrange, right? We never shoot back at where everybody's at. So don't let that muzzle come behind your hip. The easiest way to explain it. If you run past a target, just holler backing up, but you don't want to turn your gun back this way. Just keep the muzzle pointed downrange, which would be pretty obvious where downrange is, and back up to shoot it. The reason I said holler backing up, because sometimes the ROs are pretty close behind you, and action's always quicker than reaction. So I don't want anybody running into each other. So if you holler backing up, that RO knows to pause or to back up to let you get that target. And a lot of times they'll tell you you're running by a target. And that kind of leads to another rule I have that is very uncommon and often frowned upon, but the people, we allow coaching. I actually encourage coaching at matches. The way I look at it is you are there to get better. That is your practice. Whether you formally make it your practice or you're not, it's your practice. And to put it in school terms, the way I explain it, local matches are like homework, major matches are like the test, right? So when we were a kid, you got help with your homework from your parents. So why not get help while you're shooting? And kind of the way I look at things. Some people say, oh, it's supposed to be an individual sport and all this kind of stuff. No disrespect, but you go start running matches. You can run it the way you want. This is my match. I'm going to run it with coaching involved. So I do it. I think most people enjoy it because sometimes it will save you some penalties. Biggest thing is when I put rifle targets at 300 and 400 yards, 500 yards, and you never shot past 100, you may look at your ballistic app and say, hold here for 500. But once you start shooting it, you may be a foot low. It's pretty damn nice to have the guy on spotting on the spotting scope going, hey, bring it up a foot. Then you just learn, hey, ballistic app, I need to true it up because this is actually my 500-yard hold. So it has a lot of benefits to it. So kind of be expecting that. For a new shooter, let the RO know. The RO range officer is what we call the RO. Let him know you're a new shooter. You will be amazed how much they will go out of the way to help you. Either help you in how you shoot the stage, if you ask, but most importantly, help you from making a mistake that may end up being a safety violation, which may get you DQ'd, disqualified. So it's in your best interest to go, hey, I'm new. It's first time here. Excuse me. You'll be amazed how much help you get just from that, right? Because we want to see people have fun and learn at the same time, so what else? I covered the 180 commands. Commands. You'll hear us talk a little bit different lingo, but after a couple matches, you maybe learn what it means. So if you get on the stage and you got to shoot shotguns, right? We'll tell you to preload your shotgun, meaning preload it in a safe direction, and normally we'll dictate where that safe direction is, or again, it's at your car. Preloading a shotgun, if you got a standard shotgun that is tube fed, like 99% of the shotguns out there, preload means put your division capacity, tack ops and tack irons, that's 9 in the tube, put that in the tube. But you're not going to put anything on the lifter, and you're definitely not going to put one in the chamber yet. Basically, what we're trying to do is save time. Because if you can spend 1 minute doing that at your car, instead of 1 minute on the line, you start doing the math at 60 shooters in a day. We just saved an hour in a day just by saying preload your shotgun. So put them in the tube only. I can't stress that enough. Do not chamber one. When you walk up to the line and the RO tells you make ready, at that point you should be able to just rack your bolt. Boom, now one's chambered. If something happens and during your preload process you accidentally get one in the chamber, don't sweat it. It was an accident. Just unload it. If it's a new shotgun, I see this happen a lot with M2s. People they're not sure how they operate, because of a little button on the side, and I forget what it's called. But leave your gun there, right? So if it's in your car, leave it in your car and go, hey man, you got to kind of swallow your pride. Hey, I just loaded a shell. I didn't mean to, and now it won't come out or something. Trust me, there are a lot of guys there are pretty gun savvy. We'll come over and help you. It's not a big deal, all right? So I don't want you to think that if it happens by accident, we're going to run you off or belittle you or anything like that. We've all done it. So preload your shotgun tubes means preload the tubes only, nothing in the chamber. I went over the batting order earlier, the on deck, in the hole, deep hole, make ready. The easiest way to do things, the most common way, is when you're on the line and it's your turn to shoot, command's going to be make ready. That means get yourself ready and your gun's ready. So at that point, if you got a pistol, your pistol magazine in, chamber it around, put it back in your holster, lock it in if you need to. Shotgun, chamber around. Rifle, chamber around. Put your magazine in, chamber around. Take a sight picture if you need it. Sight picture meaning if you're fisting to shoot paper targets, make sure your rifle's not on 6 power, it's on 1 power. You're off the clock. Take advantage of that time. Don't take forever, but take 20, 30 seconds, whatever you need to make sure you are ready for that. Once you look ready, the RO is going to say something to the effect, it's always a little bit different, but the most common one is, are you ready? That's something that we don't require feedback from. So give you an example of the way I do it. Are you ready? You got about a 1 second pause. And if you don't say anything, if you say, no, wait, I'm not, I'm going to say stand by. About another 1 second pause, I'm going to hit the timer, which keeps score for everything. Anytime during that time, if you're not ready, if I thought you were and you wasn't, sorry about that, didn't mean to, that's my fault. Just say, no, give me a second, Be mindful, we got a lot of people to shoot that day, but at the same time, this is your time to shoot, make ready, whatever you need to do, kind of get your mental game where it needs to be. So, in recapping, you're going to walk up the line, make ready means load your guns. At that point, are you ready? There's going to be a brief pause. They're going to say stand by, then the timer's going to go off. So that's getting you started on the stage. There's a couple things you're going to hear that you may hear, because the more we can eliminate chatter when you're shooting, the more you can understand us. So, for example, if you hear muzzle, that means that muzzle's going in the wrong direction, or it's getting pretty close to either coming behind your hip or pointing in the wrong direction. Anytime you hear the RO holler muzzle, just, if that's down range and my muzzle's here, right? Just get it back down range. Pretty simple. Finger's the biggest one. A lot of guys get to shooting and you got your finger inside the trigger guard, and when you're moving, your finger's still on the trigger. That's a potential of, if you trip, if you fall, if you flinch or whatever, you can crank one off. It goes off selling into an unknown area. That's a match DQ, disqualification, and we don't want to do that. We'd rather holler finger to get it up out of the trigger guard, up on the frame, whether it's a frame of a shotgun, rifle, or pistol, it doesn't matter. My personal rule is, if my sight's not on target and I'm behind the sights, if I'm not in the glass on the scope, or behind the iron sights on pistol and it's on target, I'm always up on the frame. Because some of these natural terrains, you trip, you fall, you do whatever. I'd rather trip and fall and the gun not go off, and then, just jump up and keep going. So, finger. If you hear finger, get it outside the trigger guard, okay? Stop. Stop is something RO may holler. And they can holler for different reasons. Stop is, you just broke a safety violation, and, we need to address that. Stop is, remember, in one of the previous videos, it's a working cattle ranch. We've had guys shooting long range and a cow come right over to the target, That's stop. That means I need to go out there and address that. Try to run it off, if you will. there's other reasons. It's not always because you did something wrong. But if you hear stop, freeze what you're doing. Just absolutely just stop. The RO will then give you very quick instructions on what to do. Whether we need to unload your guns so we can either go get rid of the cattle that are down there, which doesn't happen very often anymore. There's a lot of reasons, but if you hear that, just freeze what you're doing. Help, like I mentioned earlier, it's a volunteer sport. Everybody resets. Even though it's a cold range and your pistol's not loaded and it's not your turn to shoot, right? I see a lot of new guys kind of want to show their buddies their pistol and they'll bring it out, It's not cool. Not cool. Leave it in the holster. If you want to show your friends what it is, go to your car, right? Because once you kind of get inside your car, everybody, for whatever reasons, it's weird. Everybody kind of relaxes a little bit. Not get inside of your car, but at the bed of your truck or your tailgate or something like that. It's common to see people jacking with their pistols, with their guns at that area. But, one of the safety rules is, you don't point your gun, loaded or unloaded, anything you're not willing to destroy. So I tend to pucker up when I turn around and see a gun pointing at me, even though I'm pretty sure it's empty, and even though the person handing it knows it is empty, it just sets everybody off. So keep it in the holster. Don't touch it. Don't take it out till the range officer tells you to. The last piece of advice I can give you is when you're shooting, we've got some really good shooters that shoot out there with us. They've been doing it an extremely long time. And with time comes speed. The absolute worst thing you can do is try to shoot as fast as them if that's not your skill level. That's when bad and unsafe things happen. So don't try to shoot as fast as them. Shoot your game. And one thing I always tell shooters, never move faster than your brain can process. We can always move faster than our brain can process. Everybody can. But if you kind of live by that rule and take your time, the longer you shoot, one day you will be that guy that a rookie's looking at going, man, I want to shoot as fast as that guy. He just smoked that stage. I want to be this fast. So it comes with time. It comes with practice. It comes with experience. So, in closing, I hope to see you out there on the range. It's really a laid-back atmosphere, and there's not a lot of rules. I think I probably just went over like 99% of the rules that I have. Safety's number one. One of my other rules is no drama, meaning, if you like to start drama, don't come to my match. I'll just straight up tell you right now, you're not the type of person we want there. We want cool, friendly dudes and girls and kids shooting. We want everybody to have fun. It's a family event. We want to have fun and learn from it. So, come out there and try it. If you don't have all the gear, don't worry about it. Bring what you have. If I do this quite often. If you want to shoot through a gun, you don't have a shotgun, but you do want to shoot a shotgun, hit me up. You can use mine. I don't shoot my own matches. That's rule number one for me. I can't run in and shoot a match at the same time. Not well anyway. So a lot of times I have my gear laying around. The only stipulation is first come, first serve. I've got one shotgun I can loan out, and whoever hits me up first, I'm more than gladly to loan it out to them, loan out the caddies, loan out anything they possibly can need to shoot the match. And I'm happy to do that. It gives you a chance to, see if you want the kind of shotgun I have, or you may shoot it once and you just completely hate it, which is cool. Everybody's different, but come out there, have a good time, and it's a ton of fun. It's addictive. I'll be real honest with you. When I first got started into it, it was I was like a fat kid on cake. I had to have it. I loved it. Come to find out, what I realized I loved about it was the social atmosphere of it, the bonding, not to get cheesy, but the family, if you will. You kind of created that little shooting community, and I dug that. Everybody's a pretty cool dude, and I tend to gravitate towards genuinely nice people versus others. So if you got any questions, shoot us an email. It's info@northtexasmultigun.com. Like I said, my name is Jeremy. I'll monitor that email myself, and I try to reply to them as quickly as possible. Phone calls are the worst. I do have a day job, but I do try to answer emails as quickly as I can, and get straight to the point on my emails, because sometimes I'm walking from customer to customer. But I will do my absolute best to get it returned in a quickly fashion and get your questions answered. So hope to meet you on the range one day. Till then, take care.